David deja vu. Because I promised Mr. Hatcher I would always haunt him for sending me to Minnesota to spend the week with Shirley and Orville Scholarship. Remember that, Stacy?
I do that.
That was planned. But I want to say thank you for inviting me tonight when Angie and Kathy called. And I hope this is a roast. If it's not, we both in trouble. Josh, if Chris Moody comes in the back door, would you please escort her up?
Oh, no.
William gave the serious part of it. I want to expound on the lighter side of it a little bit. When William brought up about the steer show, Mr. Dean, which Stacy had some big shoes to fill, was always in the swine production. When Stacy came in, it went to steer production, or showing steer calves. And you remember the steer shows used to be in the old fairgrounds at Dothan. And Stacy, you're going to remember this one in just a minute, where the farm center was. Well, the FFA had just purchased a gooseneck trailer. So they loaded it up, all that equipment, all those expensive steers. They went to the farm show. Well, those students that William was talking about initiating, and I don't know if William was in on this or not, but I'm sure he knows what I'm speaking of. They decided to play a prank on Mr. Hatcher. They were going to jack the goose trailer up and unpin it, so when he drove off, the trailer would still be sitting there. Well, they got scared. Mr. Hatcher had them do something, and they had forgot to pin the lock back on the neck. So they loaded up after the show that night, all the expensive steers, all the equipment. It was hooked to Stacy's truck. And coming back from the farm center, you know, there's that bridge there. It's got a dip in it. When he hit that dip, that gooseneck went across the road into the bank. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, steers or pedestrians. But we spent, what, a week on going through different students trying to find out what happened on that.
Yeah, we did.
Remember now?
Yeah, we did.
All right. Remember that, William? I'm not guilty of that. I said many a day when the school was over with, and we was back there, and if you've ever been in a building, it's an octagon building inside the library, had purple carpet on it. I said, Lord, just get me out of this room shortly. Second thing, students' initiation on Mr. Hatcher. We had a policy about not bringing ketchup out of the lunchroom. And I don't know if Stacy knows that I know this one. But some of our seniors brought some ketchup out of the lunchroom. And it was 4th block, and after they ate, they went into the ag shop. Well, one genius decided to take that ketchup, put it all over him, like he'd cut his finger in his hand. And the other group hollered, Mr. Hatcher, Mr. Hatcher. Remember this?
Yeah, I do.
They said Mr. Hatcher turned just as white, my hair, and started cussing and calling, 911, no, call the rescue squad. They got a good laugh off of that. They got a laugh about calling him in the welding booths, and when he come in, he'd strike the arc of the welder and it'd blind him. Remember all those things?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I've seen Stacy upset, and I've seen Stacy mad one time, and I've seen him concerned a lot. But the maddest I've seen him, and I can't remember if it was Vernon or Chad McKnight, but I usually got to school around 6:15, 6:20. Vernon would come in, the coach would come in, and we would go over the paper, drink our coffee, and eat our biscuit, and then Stacy would come in. Stacy had 2 daughters, as you know, and one of them was dating a young man here in Hartford. And they started ribbing him pretty bad about it. And Stacy said something, and I think it was McKnight finally said, Well, that's gonna make you related to him, isn't it? Stacy got his coffee, got up and left. Remember that? I'll let you tell me the story.
No, I don't think so.
Fruit sales. Always loved to see fruit sales come
And go.
and go. I hated it, but when they come, you knew you were fixing to get out of school, and it was Christmas break. You also knew that Mr. Hatcher and I were going to get cussed out because some kid had figured out a way to pocket some money without delivering the fruit. One of those geniuses told the lady that, and you got to realize they weren't Facebook, Twitter, or internet communications then. The school was too poor; they couldn't send out mail or mail notices that the fruit was in. This is the best one. If you've ever been to a Hartford football game, you know where Stacy stands, right? Or you can hear Stacy from where he stands. I guess it was 98, 99, somewhere there, because all these years are running together now for me. But Stacy is very vocal about football. He loves it, he takes it to heart. And other people sometimes seem to get offended, especially when it's their husband that's the coach. Coach Moody was here then. Moody ran the ball, Stacy wanted to throw it. When Moody threw it, Stacy wanted to run it. So, and he was very vocal in letting that be known throughout the stadium. Well, there was a lady which I invited tonight, and I don't know where she's gonna make it or not, named Chris, which was Coach Moody's wife. And she may have been 5'4", maybe weighed 120, 25 pounds. Stacy stood up and hollered something, and I believe, which game was it, Stacy?
Elba game.
The Elba game.
Oh, yeah.
She had had enough. And she was sitting down there with Coach Keith's wife. Now, Coach Keith's wife was meek and mild. Chris was a little, she'd go over there a little bit. She had enough. She stood up and she hollered to him, "You come down here," and she said it in blank words. I'm going to say it different. "I will take care of your lower anatomy for you." And she meant it. From that day on, Chris and Coach Keith's wife watched the ball game in the press box. Stacy, if you remember, and if you remember a couple of years ago when we did in-service, I mentioned the 4 phases of education. The first year you teach, that's the rookies. Then after that, maybe 4th, 5th, 6th years, that's your program teachers. You've got No Child Left Behind. You got a Plan of Excellence. You had the Alabama Exit Exam, and now I think y'all got a 2020 program. So, you know, that's where the program teachers come in. After you've been teaching 10, 12 years, you fall in the slot of occupationally trapped. You get burned out. You're in financial, house, cars, kids going to college, whatever. You can't do anything else. Then after you get about 20 years, you wind up being a lifer. You're in it for the rest of your life. There's one part of that I didn't tell y'all. It's the last phase. That's the phase that you enter into when you're retired. And a couple of things change then. You start going to Lowe's a lot more. You start visiting Walmart a lot more. You start going to Carmichael matinees on Tuesdays, cheap popcorn, cheap Coke. You become a frequent flyer or a frequent person at the medical center and the Flowers Hospital doctor's office. Your hair starts receding. But the best thing about it, you have no place to be at a certain time. You don't have to shave if you don't want to. You don't have to take a bath if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want to. Amen. Congratulations, Stacy. You made it to that phase.